Excuse me, mate, you dropped your wallet.
Huh?
You dropped your wallet.
Oh, sugar. Oh, cheers, mate. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You know, man, I would have lost my job if I'd lost this. Do you know how much I've got in here? $6.5 trillion, mate. Alright? Now, if I just lost that willy-nilly, boy, I'm getting served. You remember that film? You got served? This is part 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I'd lost that $6.5 trillion. Alright? Luckily for me, I don't work for the Pentagon. I want to talk about losing $6.5 trillion. Now that sounds a lot, doesn't it? I lost 30 quid like 2 weeks ago. I was mortified. I wanted to cry. I practically did cry, almost, anyway. I should have shed tears. That £30 is a lot. You know, that was my gas, my electric, some travel money, some food. You know what I mean? I lost it. But I didn't lose 6.5 trillion. You know who lost it? The Pentagon, the Department of Defense. How in God's name do you lose 6.5 trillion? You know what would happen to you in your job if you lost $6.5 trillion? Number one, you would not have a job immediately your supervisors found out, or your line managers, or whoever the hell you report to. And whoever they report to, as soon as that chain of command finds out that I lost 6.5 trillion or you lost 6.5 trillion, heads will roll, my head, your head will be gone. Let's not forget that back in, what was it?
The day before 9/11, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld declared war, not on foreign terrorists.
The adversary is closer to home. It's the Pentagon bureaucracy.
My 03 budget calls for more than $48 billion in new defense spending.
More money for the Pentagon when its own auditors admit the military cannot account for 25% of what it already spends.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3 trillion with a T.
Oops. Oopsie.
We know it's gone, but we don't know what they spent it on.
Jim Minery, a former Marine turned whistleblower, is risking his job by speaking out for the first time about the millions he noticed were missing from one defense agency's balance sheets. Minery tried to follow the money trail, even crisscrossing the country looking for records.
The director looked at me and he says, "Why do you care about this stuff?" It took me aback, you know. My supervisor asked me why I care about doing a good job. So
he was reassigned and says officials then covered up the problem by just writing it off.
they got to cover it up. That's where the corruption comes in. They've got to cover up the fact that they can't do the job.
Pentagon, if you're looking for someone to come and work for you, right? I'm offering my services. I'm telling you, I can easily lose 6.5 trillion. Ain't a problem. Ain't a thing. If that's what you guys are about, if that's all you do around there, I'll come along. Hey, I'll do it, man. You put my name on the registry there, I'll come. You give me the money, I'll lose it. Guaranteed. It's not like it's gonna be in my socks or you're gonna find it hidden behind my desk or anything. I'll just go lose it. You saw me, I was just walking along, I almost lost some money. I easily lose 6.5 trillion for you. Not a problem.
He said money wasted by the military poses a serious threat.
In fact, it could be said that it's a matter of life and death.
Rumsfeld promised change, but the next day, the world changed. And in the rush to fund the war on terrorism, the war on waste seems to have been forgotten.
That's back in 2001. Fast forward 15 years later, 2016, they've lost 6.5 trillion. How? I mean, how? What the 6 point, like, okay, 1, that's bad. 2, all right, maybe we can start talking about negligence. 2 trillion that you just lost, you don't know what happened to it? 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Now I did not do great at maths back in school, but I know that's a shitload of fucking money. Now, here's the thing. It's not like they just kind of lost track of the money completely. They know 6.5 million was spent. The problem is they don't know which account it came from and who the check was written out to. Because there's quite a few of them checks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we might find that there was a hammer that cost $5,000. Or we might find that there was some stationery that cost $15,000. We might find that someone's office had to get refurbished at the cost, the taxpayer cost of $1 million. This is how these things get added up and added up and added up. But we don't know for sure because we don't know which account the check came from and who the check was going to. All we know is, oh, here's a check for 25,000, here's a check for 3,500, here's a check for 10,000, here's a check for 2 million. We don't know where that money's going. Now listen, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, wouldn't you like to know? So these people who have been encouraging us to just wholeheartedly support them in whatever they do. And I'm talking about our army generals. And I'm just not just talking about America now. Now let's come to Britain. Let's bring it a little bit closer to home, shall we? Because back in 2013, this government, well, okay, 2013, some slightly different individuals who might have been working in there. But generally speaking, our government, who reside in here on a daily basis and make laws and so on and so forth, our government had sold over £12 billion worth of arms. Not only that, to questionable regimes and governments. People like, I don't know, Saudi Arabia. People like, I don't know, the Afghanistani government. People like, I don't know, Russia. And here we are being told, oh no, Russia's the baddest, they're the worst. Putin's the worst. If he's so bad, why the hell are you selling arms to him? So that was 2013. Let's find out what happened just before Cameron resigned. While Cameron was in office and Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, he sold the most arms that has ever been sold under any Prime Minister ever. Over £6 billion worth. Some of the people he sold it to, Saudi Arabia. Let me just talk about them for 1 second. Now hopefully you keep up to date with the news and you would have seen some of the bombings that have been taking place in the Middle East recently. I'm talking about the Saudi-led coalition that have been bombing Yemen specifically. Because they've been bombing Yemen for a few years now. Now recently they just hit a hospital, which is the second time they've been hit in a war zone. They also hit school.
Oh yeah, all around here.
A school. You know, where kids are and stuff. Where the kids are meant to be trying to learn and get an education. An education that arseholes like Boko Haram don't want people to have. That's what they were doing. They were in school, in their classrooms, trying to get that education that will help them build a better future for themselves and for the planet. Because that's what happens when you invest in the future. You invest in the young people. Yeah? That investment comes to fruition when they get older and they take charge. And they take over from us old farts. Yeah? And they hopefully lead the country into a better direction than us old farts have done. Alright? Because we invested in them. Kind of like what Jeremy Corbyn is proposing, you know? Education. And not just for young people, for adults as well. Because you never stop learning, man. That's life. I also feel like I'm rambling a bit too much right now. Now, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to highlight that 6.5 trillion that went missing. That all of a sudden no one in the Pentagon seems to know, well, they don't know what congressional budget it came from. They don't know who wrote what check to who and what for. And then our own government as well here in the UK selling arms as well. Selling ammunition, because it's the Pentagon, it's the Department of Defense. Yeah, there'll be some civilian research projects that are being done, but for the most part, right? What are they researching and developing? War, weapons of war, yeah? How to kill in the most efficient and the most precise manner. And despite all this trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of research, how many innocent lives still get lost? Are you trying to tell me that after decades of all the same institutions that brought us the internet. You try and tell me the same institutions that have all these satellites and everything floating around everywhere. Satellites that can bounce, you know, radio waves and frequencies or whatever and scan the whole damn planet within 60 seconds. Those same things, they couldn't spot some guys in a cave. They can't spot some guys in some bushes in Nigeria, Boko Haram. Those assholes, they can't spot them. After the trillions and the billions that get spent, I think we need to start asking a lot more questions than we are currently asking. So like I said at the start of this video, me or you, we lose some money. I mean, I lose $5 and it hurts. I lost 30 quid a couple of weeks ago, that really hurt. You know what I mean? If I lose any money related to my job, oh, I am scared as hell. All right? But these people are willy-nilly. Like I said, there was $1 trillion back in 2001, now it's 6.5 trillion. Our own government is God knows, you know, the taxpayer money that's, man, all the austerity cuts and everything, all the cuts they've made, all the social care and everything that's been cut. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, our kids here in the UK don't have as many places to just go and play football anymore. Just a simple little thing like that to occupy their time. It's summer holidays right now. God knows what they've been up to. I mean, we're probably luckily we ain't had no riot this time around with all the madness that our governments have been doing. Yes, you jabronis out there, yes, you. But I'm talking about, we're dealing with the youth, man. I work with young people on a regular basis. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to help mold the future of our society and the future of the world in a positive direction. You jabronis in there, you ain't helping. And you're using my taxpayer money as well to make life even more difficult for our young people and for our next coming generation. How dare you? You lot need to fix up. Take a good long hard look in the mirror, man. I hope you see a reflection, because right now you like monsters, you're like vampires, you're sucking the life out of the average citizen here in Britain. Huh? Fix up.